Hey guys, I've been wanting to get you an update on how my options trading journey has been going. It's been a few weeks since my first options trading video, but I didn't go in depth as I wanted to into my trades. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into all of them. So if you're ready, let's get into it. On this channel, I talk about all things finance, wealth building, and how you can achieve the life of your dreams through financial independence. If you want to join me on this journey to financial independence, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, so this is my trading journal. I keep track of all my trades here and it calculates my net profit. This spreadsheet was built by another YouTuber called In the Money. I will leave a link to his video where he gives out this spreadsheet so you can check out his videos too. He's a great teacher, so if you're interested in more advanced option trading techniques, you can check out his channel. So let me give a quick overview of my trading strategy. I only sell options contracts to generate a premium, either through cash secured puts or covered calls. Cash secured puts requires enough cash to purchase 100 shares of the underlying stock, while a covered call requires you to own 100 shares of the underlying stock. I have been selling options for about 2 months now, and since I did not go into detail in the last video, let me break down how this journey has been from the beginning. On August 6th, I started this journey and I sold a cash secured put against NIO, which is a Chinese electric car company, because the stock was cheap and I wanted to get my feet wet with something that I thought was relatively stable. I sold a 40 strike contract that expired in 5 days for a premium of $43. That means I sold a contract stating that I will buy 100 shares of NIO if the stock price dropped to $40 or below by the expiration date, which was August 13th. And in return for selling that contract, I got paid $43 upfront, directly deposited into my trading account balance. When you sell contracts, you always get all the money, which is called the premium, upfront. One thing to note is that all the cash to purchase 100 shares, which is $4,000 in the case of this contract, is held by the broker as collateral until the contract is closed. Later that same week, I closed the contract 15 minutes before the closing bell on Friday, because the stock price was right at $40 and I did not want to own 100 shares of NIO. I had to pay $6 to close the contract, so my net profit is $43 minus $6 for a total of $37. At that point, I realized I had successfully utilized what could be an excellent source of semi-passive income. After that, I started looking for stocks that were in my price range that offered a much larger premium. I landed on AMC because what gives a stock a high premium is time and volatility. I wanted a short-term weekly or bi-weekly contract, so that takes out a lot of the time portion, but the other portion is volatility. And boy, was AMC volatile. For the next 6 weeks after that, I sold contracts exclusively on AMC and making profit every single week. I would collect my premiums, and within a week of opening the contracts, I would close the contracts, profiting the difference. If that sounded a little bit confusing, that's okay. I will dive deeper a little bit later in this video into all the numbers, and I will show you what an actual contract looks like. About a month after I started selling AMC contracts and selling some stock, I had enough money to start selling 2 contracts on AMC at once. When things are going good, they go great. But I'm sure, as you guys know, September was a terrible time for the markets. And the one rule I knew was not to sell put options in a down market. But it was too late. The storm had come and I was trapped right in the middle of it. By mid-September, AMC had tanked into the low 30s. But my contract stated I will buy 200 shares at $44 per share. I was not going to take a loss that big. So I scrambled and learned what is called rolling down and out, or rolling your contract. I found contracts that expired later and at a lower stock price that was worth more money. So I found one that was further out in expiration and down in price. That's why it's called rolling down and out. So you can see here on September 22nd, when I rolled the contract, I'm closing it for one price and opening another for hopefully a higher premium, so it covers the cost of closing the original contract and has a little bit extra to pay me. The first time I rolled my AMC contracts, it cost $468 per contract to close them. But I simultaneously sold 2 new contracts that expired further out with a lower strike price for $493 each. That resulted in a net profit of $50 for that transaction. Let me show you guys the actual trade confirmation and break it down to make it easier to understand. Here is the order confirmation. This was all one order. When you close a put contract, you're actually buying it back. So that's how you close it. You pay the difference in the value of the contract from when you bought it to what it's worth now. So if you did things right, the stock price should be away from your strike price. So the contract is losing value over time because the chances of it actually hitting your strike price and executing is pretty low. In my case here, things did not go my way. I got paid a couple $100 in premium, but now the contract actually went up in value because the buyer is making money, not me. So I have to pay more money to close this contract than I was originally paid for it. If I didn't roll this contract, I would have had to pay a lot of money out of pocket to get out. So in this case, I would have had to pay $468 per contract to close them out. But because I rolled it, I simultaneously sold 2 new put contracts for $493 each that expired on a later date. So I had to pay nothing out of pocket because the premium from the new contracts covered the cost to close the old ones. And there was a little bit extra left over for me to make profit. So for doing all this, I made an extra $50 in profit, directly deposited into my trading account. That's probably a lot, so if you guys have any questions or want me to clarify anything, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, so the week after that, on September 30th, AMC still had not recovered, so I had to roll again, except this time I sold the contracts that expired 3 weeks out, on October 22nd, at a $42 strike price, for a net profit of $68. Here on the spreadsheet, I put in the price I will have to close the contracts at to net a break even, and it keeps the overall profit loss calculation accurate for now. As of this video, AMC has gone past the $42 price point, so the contract is quickly losing value. I will close out the contract as soon as it hits break even so I can free up all the cash that's been tied up for the last month. And after I got stuck in these AMC contracts, I made a big deposit into the account and purchased 57 shares of Apple stock, which brings the total shares of Apple I have in the account up to 100, so that I will be able to start selling covered calls. On October 3rd, I sold a 143 strike covered call on my 100 shares of Apple and collected $115 of premium. This means I got paid $115 for a contract that states I will sell my 100 shares of Apple for $143 if the stock is that price or higher on the expiration date. But that was when the market started recovering from its September tumble. I quickly realized that Apple was soar past my 143 price point, so I rolled the contract 3 weeks out to October 29th for a $147 strike price. I was not willing to sell my shares for $143 per share, and I thought I would be okay with letting them go for $147 per share. But unlucky me, the whole market is on an absolute mad run to the moon. And as of this video, Apple has already ran past the $147 mark. I'm not going to roll again, so I'm just going to wait until October 29th for the contract to execute and sell off my 100 shares of Apple. I do want to free up the cash for my next step in my options trading plan anyways. So, after my first 2 months of selling options, I made a running total of $1,272 in net profit, an average of $636 per month of semi-passive income. $100 a week was my initial goal, and I was able to beat that goal. The first few months of learning something new is always tough. So let me share some of the top learnings with you guys so you can avoid some of the mistakes I made. I trade what is called the wheel strategy, and the number one rule that I broke is that you should only sell options on stocks you want to own. AMC options were profitable due to volatility. I thought I was okay with owning 100 shares of AMC, but then I got greedy and opened 2 contracts of AMC, which means I would have ended up owning 200 shares of the stock instead. I was not okay with that. And that actually brings us to the next learning. Don't get greedy. I got greedy with the premiums for AMC and put myself in a situation I did not want to be in. Greed will ruin anyone and everyone. These are the two main lessons that seem pretty obvious, but they will stick with me throughout this journey. So those are my trading lessons, but I also learned a lot about my own personal trading style. Some people hold their contracts long term in what are called leaps. My personal strategy is much more short term. Price will fluctuate less in the short term than it will over the long term, so for me personally, I feel like there's less risk associated with getting in and out of contracts within a few days, and if needed, I can roll the contract out a week or two without tying up my cash for too long. Alright guys, that was a full breakdown of my options trading journey so far, all the ups and all the downs. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and please let me know if you guys are interested in or trade options yourself. I do want to eventually create a full-time income through selling options, so I would love to hear about your experiences. As always, thanks for checking out the video, and consider hitting that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed it. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.